Good evening. Welcome to the Class of 2020 Graduation and Awards Ceremony. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and board of Chinquapin, I would like to welcome you here tonight. Chinquapin graduations are always historical events where seniors are honored for their perseverance, commitment, dedication to hard work, and leadership. But today is even more momentous because this is Chinquapin's first live stream ceremony. We're so excited to be able to celebrate with you today. If you'd like to participate throughout the ceremony, please use the comment feature and post, and the graduates will be able to see what you've posted. Jason Moreno, former Chinquapin teacher, will now deliver the invocation.
Welcome, Chinquapin family. Let us pray. We begin our invocation in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Almighty God, many of us come here today from so many different places, so many backgrounds, so many perspectives, and so many different relationships with you. That does not change the mercy, grace, and hope intended for us all. We do not deserve these things because we have earned them, but rather because you have said we are loved enough to exist, loved enough to be saved from darkness, loved enough to never truly be alone. While we will never be as perfect at providing hope and forgiveness as you are, we do pray that we can bring hope and mercy to a world truly in need of it. As we suffer from the brokenness of a world that is not the way that it should be, a world in which people do not always have enough wisdom to make good decisions for themselves and for others, a world in which people do not always have enough compassion to find solutions to work for all of their neighbors, a world in which people do not always have enough empathy to hear their fellow human beings as they cry out under the knees of oppression. We beg you to forgive us as a species and to help us to be the change that our world so desperately needs. Lord, we bring these young people to you, dedicating them to service to this world and to your purposes of light and life, of meaning and impact. Where we have gone only so far in doing what is right, we ask you to take them further and to protect them in their journeys. And we thank you for the joy of knowing and guiding them all these years, between late night study sessions, impromptu dance parties, and shared experiences that will forever bond us to one another. Thank you for letting them be our children, even as they have been given to their parents and guardians, and even as they are your own. We thank you, we praise you with our words, hearts, minds, and lives. In Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, Jason. Each senior has selected one person who is special to him or her, upon whom which they would wish to bestow the responsibility of striving for excellence both inside and outside the classrooms of Chinquapin. Receiving this candle is viewed as a great honor. Dr. Laura Henry, former Chinquapin director, will now begin the candle ceremony.
Hi, Burrs. I can't tell you what pleasure it gives me to see all your beautiful faces. Those receiving candles today were chosen because the seniors believe that they will carry forward the attitudes and behaviors needed to be positive role models for their fellow students. The seniors encourage them to take advantage of all the opportunities offered at Chinquapin to keep the light burning. I will now call the names of the graduating seniors and the recipients of their candles. Luis Acosta will give his candle to Ana Mendoza. Sebastian Alba is giving his candle to Desiree Garcia. Erica Chavez is giving her candle to Joshua Alvarez. Jacob Cordova giving his candle to Jacob Martinez. Ethan Corral will give his candle to Hannah Corral. Daniela Delgado is giving her candle to Samantha Cuellar. Friedrich Pfizer will give his candle to Adam Rodriguez. Carlos Flores will give his candle to Osiris Lopez. Alan Garza is giving his candle to Luis Martinez. Isaac Gonzalez will give his candle to Nason Espino. Tamara Gonzalez will give her candle to Bridget Funes. Christina Madrano will give her candle to Wendy Barragan. Judith Mendoza will give her candle to Abigail Baptiste. Sebastian Navajar will give his candle to Evelyn Perez. Ricardo Plata will give his candle to Cassandra Plata. Ashley Robledo will give her candle to Angie Zamudio. And Kiana Wilson will give her candle to Lauren Tanner.
At the end of every season, we have faculty and staff members who leave us, sprout their wings, and take on new roles and responsibilities with other schools and organizations. This year, the following faculty and staff members are honored. Nick Alden, Chinquapin Athletic Director, Coach, Middle School and High School Math Teacher, 11th grade level lead, and athletic field striping and maintenance. Nick volunteered to help out in any way he could. Chinquapin will miss the down-to-earth conversations about what's going on in the world and the passion that you have for talking to students about sports and ways to sit down and have those difficult conversations that maybe they just don't want to have. I know it's been a few years since we've been on top, but I've got to say it, go Spurs. Axa Carrasco, Chinquapin Spanish teacher. Axa joined the team in January and taught middle school Spanish, middle school PE, and high school Spanish. Her fun-loving nature and focus helped students feel comfortable in the classroom, and she raised the bar to let students know they can grasp the Spanish language. She was a spectacular addition to the Beautification chore crew, who bonded immediately with her chore group. Dr. Laura Henry, Chinquapin director from 2013 to 2019. She led the school to a groundbreaking transformation by providing the girls with dorms. Chinquapin was taken to another level under her leadership and expertise. She started a new traditions of hosting faculty and staff celebrations and senior dinners at her house to commemorate the success of each school year. I know this year's class still wants their senior dinner so they can go swimming in your pool, Laura. Jordan Nguyen, Chinquapin Middle School and High School math teacher, 6th grade level chair and math department chair. Jordan's mindset of making sure students know they are loved and will be respected in the classroom is unparalleled. He doesn't believe in, I'm just not good at math. He doesn't allow students to think of themselves in that way. He is also quite the musician who students tend to go to when they want to create a band or have a new band member. Chinquapin will miss his tenacity of bringing the community together. Dulce Mogosa, Chinquapin Middle School and High School history teacher. Dulce quickly began wanting to become a skilled teacher who asked many questions about how to improve. She reached out for guidance from her colleagues and pushed herself to create student-centered lesson plans. She worked on building relationships with students and continues to be an educator. Elena Morales, Chinquapin Executive Assistant. Elena quickly picked up the strenuous role of having to multitask while having 1,001 responsibilities all at the same time. She created systems and began developing easier ways for Chinquapin to work. Her efficient, effective processes continue to be implemented. Alonso Postigo, Chinquapin Director of Food Services and girls varsity soccer coach. Alonzo also loves working on cars and drives a mean tractor when cutting the backfields. He is always willing to help others and will sit and have conversations with anyone. Chinquapin will miss coming into the dining hall and kitchen and smelling the aromas of the meals he just made and hearing the music that's inviting us all to dance and celebrate. Dr. Angela Postigo. Chinquapin Middle School and High School Spanish teacher, Spanish department chair, and girls varsity soccer coach. Angela began understanding that acquiring the Spanish language would be monumental for students. She developed lessons and designed instruction that pushed students to become adept to higher levels of language acquisition. Joy Ross Moore. Chinquapin School Counselor. When the need of having a counselor was brought up, Joy stepped right in with the role with ease. Her expertise and special connection to Chinquapin, Maxine and Bob Moore's daughter-in-law, made the transition seamless. Her warmth allowed the students and faculty to quickly connect to her. While she won't be the counselor next year, she has offered to be a consultant to ensure Chinquapin students, families, and faculty and staff have all the resources and support that is needed. Donna Widener, Chinquapin School Counselor. Donna joined Chinquapin in January. She quickly began working with students and found that she missed being a counselor because she had retired and was subbing at a nearby school district. Donna built relationships with students and continued to touch base with them even when she couldn't meet with them face to face. All of these faculty and staff members are a part of the Chinquapin family and hold a special place in our hearts. Please stay in touch and come back to visit whenever you can. Chinquapin celebrates the many volunteers who are connected to the school, community, and help support our efforts. The community awards will be presented by Lindsay Trostel, 8th grade level chair, and Jordan Wynn, 6th grade level chair.
Thank you, Dr. Scretchen. The Super Irrigation Award is presented to the Friends of Chinquapin who have worked for the school beyond the call of duty. This year, we had 32 recipients.
Chinquapals. El Premio Chinquapals reconoce a los padres de los estudiantes de Chinquapin que han trabajado para la escuela más allá de lo debido. Este año tuvimos 8 premiados. The Chinquapals Award recognizes the parents of Chinquapin students who have worked for the school above and beyond the call of duty. This year, we had 8 recipients.
Thank you, Lindsay and Jordan. Several awards and honors at Chinquapin allow us to recognize those students who sustain commitment to academic work and impeccable character that have earned them special recognition by the faculty. These awards are part of the legacy of excellence at Chinquapin. Laura Hips, Director of Development, will now present the Future Leaders Awards.
This award honors Betsy Phillips, who was our development director from 2002 until 2011. In recognition of her numerous years of hard work, dedication, and success in fundraising for our school, members of the Houston community joined together to create an annual scholarship for a rising senior who exhibits Betsy's enthusiasm, dedication, and loyalty to the school. The scholarship helps cover the selected student's senior year expenses. This year's recipient is Natalie Raquena. In addition, we're also happy to award the Willie Kuhn Scholarship. Willie was a friend of mine who first introduced me to Chinquapin 15 years ago. He was a pillar in his community, and he truly believed in giving back. In addition to being the longtime CFO of Christus Health, Sisters of Charity Health System, he served on the boards of New Hope Housing, Rothko Chapel, and Angela House. And for many years, he was Chinquapin's board treasurer. His loving spirit, loyalty, generosity, kindness, quick wit, and sense of humor, and his culinary skills touched countless lives. Uncle Willie, as many lovingly called him, lived each day to the fullest. This scholarship for a rising senior boy will help cover this student's senior year expenses. It's awarded to a student who exhibits Willie's passion for life, his love of education, and his kindness. This year, the recipient is Edgar Mendez.
Thank you, Laura. The next awards highlight graduating seniors, their academic and their leadership excellence. The majority are voted on by the faculty and staff. Alan Ratliff, Chinquapin President of the Board of Trustees, will now present the President's Award.
Thank you, Dr. Scrutchen. Before presenting the award, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I wanted to acknowledge that, like the senior class, we're disappointed that the pandemic has kept us all from being together on campus today. But we hope the senior class will take us up on our offer to host a launch to college party for you later in the summer before you head off to college, pandemic conditions permitting. Dr. Scrutchen will coordinate with your class representative. Now, the President's Award. The President's Award honors the outstanding graduating senior as determined by a vote of the faculty. The award is given by Harry A. Zuber, who was the president of the Board of Trustees from 1974 to 1976, and it's in honor of the school's founders, Bob and Maxine Moore. I'm pleased to announce that the President's Award recipient for 2020 is Sebastian Alba. Congratulations, Sebastian.
Thank you, Alan. Next, we have our Leadership Award. The Leadership Award is presented to students who show outstanding leadership qualities. The Class of 2020 recipient of the Leadership Award goes to Tamara Gonzalez. Next, we have the Serendipity Award. The Serendipity Award is awarded to the students who most brighten up their fellow students' day as voted by the entire student body and faculty. Usually, this award is not presented at graduation, but the recipient this year has received this recognition all 7 years of his Chinquapin career. This Serendipity Award goes to Luis Acosta. The next award is for the National Merit College Board Recognition for the Class of 2020. Sebastian Alba is a National Hispanic Scholar because he scored in the top 2.5% among Hispanic and Latinx PSAT and MSQT test takers in the region. Congratulations, Tamara, Luis, and Sebastian. Abby Cisneros, Director of Admissions, will now present several more awards.
The Angel Nolasco Award is awarded to the student who, like Angel, has demonstrated kindness, compassion, and unselfishness, and who has proven to be an inspiration and model for his, or her fellow students. The award this year goes to Luis Acosta. The Dylan Anderson Memorial Award is presented to the student of the Chinquapin Preparatory School who, during the past year, has experienced the greatest awakening of his, her spiritual, academic, and intellectual powers. The award this year goes to Erica Chavez. The Albert H. Herstein Memorial Award. We honor Al Herstein's memory by recognizing students who best exemplify those qualities of drive, determination, and desire to succeed that were so clearly demonstrated in Al Herstein's life. This year, the award goes to Kedrick Pfizer.
Thank you, Abby. Dr. Henry will now present the Senior Essay Prize.
Thank you, Dr. Scrutchen. So it's a very unique tradition for a college preparatory school, but all Chinquapin seniors compose reflective essays about their experience here. You're going to find all those essays in the program, which is linked on the website. The essays were judged by a local attorney and my husband, Scott Lanning, who also awarded the prize. And this year's Senior Essay Prize is awarded to Kiana Wilson. Go, Kiana. So in past years, I've always taken a moment right before you graduated to give a brief message to the seniors, and I really appreciate the opportunity to do so again. So hear me out for a minute. I promise it's brief. If I had to choose one word to describe this class, I would choose cohesive. I'm not sure what the event was, but I have a vivid memory of you all in the new dining hall gathered around Ethan as he played the guitar. And there you were, belting out Country Roads, having the time of your life and stealing the show. It was magical, whimsical, and a perfect encapsulation of your group's ethos. You genuinely care for each other, even if you sometimes squabble like old married couples. I'm looking at you, Ethan and Daniela. Or have perfected nose goes into an art form. I'd name names here, but there are far too many. You have big hearts, a genuine desire to give back, and a deep thirst for knowledge. I know I kicked several of you out of the library because I had to lock it up on roaming. You debated with gusto, showed passion and energy for new ideas, even when you were dead tired from trimming trees or cleaning out a building. And you always took the time to help the younger students. And you supported each other through what is just a highly unusual and difficult year. Your capacity for loving each other, accepting each other, and being there for each other is immense. You were my first class and my last class. And I just want you to know how proud I am of how far you've come on this journey and how far I know that your limitless potential will take you. Keep your hearts and minds open, keep being there for others, and keep that touch of whimsy that makes you unique. Congratulations, class of 2020, and you can come swim in my pool anytime. We're gonna make that senior dinner happen.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. Jacob Cordova will now introduce the next speaker, who will deliver a message to the class.
Thank you, Dr. Scretchen. Good evening, everyone. Since Stephen Perro first came to Chinquapin our freshman year, he has consistently carried himself with such diligence and determination and has effortlessly become part of the Chinquapin community. I admire his methods of keeping the class engaged with activities that can be both inspiring and educational. His energy is contagious, and his funky socks are amazing. Oops. He exceeds beyond his job as a teacher, as he is also a mentor, a fashion critic, and a friend. My classmates and I could go on with stories about how Stephen has inspired us and created an environment where no ideas were bad ones and where anyone can speak their mind. There were endless amount of books he could have chosen to read us, but he always chose the ones that we could relate to the most. From learning the meaning of infinite in Perks of Being a Wallflower to revisiting the motif of dreams deferred in A Raisin in the Sun our freshman year, Stephen has taught me how to appreciate literature. Granted, if I could sit here and talk about all the books we have dove into, I would, but I want to talk about one in particular because of how it has resonated with me throughout my years at Chinquapin. The Glass Castle, a memoir by Jeanette Walls, follows the life of an author who grew up in a chaotic setting with her family, as they would constantly be on the road getting into all sorts of trouble and mishaps. Walls had a close relationship with her father, who helped her develop the idea of building a glass castle, a dream for them both, but realized she disagreed with him a lot as she got older on his methods of how he took care of the family. As an adult now, Walls grew to become a well-renowned in New York as a journalist. Despite her father's passing, she understood that aside from the way her father behaved, she knew that it was all because he loved her and her family, and that he may not have been able to build his glass castle, but he was able to help her daughter become the successful woman she is today. Now, I'm not saying Stephen is anything like Rex Walls, but one thing is true. He may not have built an extraordinary castle, but he helped us become the young intellectual students we are today. Thank you, Stephen, for being part of the reason I am the young man I am today, as well as a thank you from the rest of the class of 2020. Thank you for encouraging us to become better versions of ourselves through your readings, teachings, and speeches. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you all Stephen Perro.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, class of 2020, for asking me to speak at your graduation. It is a tremendous honor. I don't mind telling you, it took me a long time to write this speech, mainly because I procrastinated. But really, it's because I have so many great memories with the class of 2020. I couldn't figure out exactly how to synthesize all my thoughts and feelings into a single message. When I finally finished the original draft, I hated it. I hated it so much. It was full of platitudes and cliches. There were quotes and rhetorical strategies. I even quoted from the Bible. It was everything you'd expect from a graduation speaker. And the day it was past due, I decided to start all over. In this version, I front-loaded all the important things I want to say so they won't get lost in the words. All right, here we go. First, I love y'all. Your dedication, friendliness, humor, and humility, your willingness to be vulnerable and quirky and responsible have made you an exemplary class. You have been an absolute joy to teach. I am proud of each of you, and each of you makes me proud to be a teacher. For 4 years, we have shared books, opinions, meals, conversations, frustrations, and jokes. We have become family. I suppose that's why graduations are bittersweet. We celebrate and begin missing you all at the same time. In this moment, I'm reminded of that Latin phrase that we so often use at Chinquapin, quid pro quo, something for something. We sometimes overlook the better meaning suggested by quid pro quo, or we reduce its meaning to an oversimplified application. Quid pro quo characterizes the relationships at the heart of Chinquapin. It's the generosity of spirit that binds each of us together. Quid pro quo announces we are united through the mutual exchange of the best of ourselves. Quid pro quo, something for something. You have each given me something to cherish. I hope I have given you something equally meaningful in return. I think about AP English language a lot lately. I miss our classes. When I read an article in the Atlantic or the Washington Post, I imagine the discussions we might have had in class. I would really appreciate having you as partners to process the events and rhetoric of the last 2 months. I want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. I imagine you're probably feeling robbed. But what if coming of age, the year of the pandemic, becomes a point of pride, a totally unique rite of passage, an important cultural and historical milestone to which you can claim ownership? Imagine 2020 as the marker of a new America and the next chapter of your life. In that scenario, your college years aren't marred by a pandemic, but enhanced by a significant historical moment when the majority of Americans finally acknowledged systematic racism and institutionalized white supremacy. It's a turning point on the brink of turning. So here's my last bit of advice as your teacher, or really maybe it's my last assignment to you. Don't ask permission to do what's right. And you should define what's right broadly. What's right for you, your future, What's moral? What rules and institutions should be challenged? Who should you stand up for? You are educated people of integrity, and you do not need anyone's permission to do the right thing. You are leaders. Chinquapin's new motto is learners to leaders. I can't think of a more appropriate charge for the class of 2020. You are the best of Chinquapin. You are 50½ years in the making. You are the product not only of 50 years of Chinquapin, but you are the product of your parents' love and sacrifice, of your teachers' dedication and support, of your classmates' encouragement and friendship, and of your own hard work and perseverance. That Bible quote from my original speech still works. Everyone brings out the choicest wine first, and then the cheaper wine after their guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now. You are our best, a testament to Chinquapin's pathway to becoming. We are counting on you to become leaders. Trust in what you've learned and who you've become. Don't listen to the people who tell you no when you know better. I smile when I think of the America we will create under your leadership. On a personal note, I want to thank you. It has been my sincere pleasure and absolute honor being your teacher and neighbor. We have gone through 4 years of high school together. I have never experienced a day of Chinquapin without you, and it's hard for me to imagine our school without the class of 2020. You have made me laugh. Navahar, I did think it was funny when your styrofoam bowl of ramen melted onto the table and floor during your how-to speech. The class of 2020 has made me a better teacher. You were my partners in developing the 9th grade English curriculum. I'll never teach Catcher in the Rye, Perks of Being a Wallflower, or The Glass Castle without thinking of you. Know that I will miss you. Nav, I will miss your sense of humor. Kiana, I will miss our deep conversations at lunch and during study hall. Luis, I will miss your energetic greetings and waves as you circle the campus backward in flip-flops. Ricky, I'll miss double fist bumps at dinner. And Christina, I'll miss your indulgent laughter when I make stupid jokes on purpose. Alba, I'll miss your unwavering devotion to the Astros, and I'll always remember our trivia crack tournament freshman year. Judith, I'll miss you being first at class every morning. Ashley, I'll miss your passionate insights during class discussions. Alan, I'll miss your excited singing about grilled cheese or Truman Capote or the weather. Ethan, no one will ever compare to you, holding court every evening after dinner with your guitar outside the cafeteria. Jacob, you will always be my #1 setter, and you are a Chinquapin fashion icon. Tamara and Isaac, I'll miss your mutual devotion to family. And Tamara, I'll miss your patience every time I put you on the spot. Isaac, I'll always miss having you as a freshman because you were an exceptional senior. Carlos, I'll miss your dramatic gifts whenever a student reads Walter Lee's lines from A Raisin in the Sun, and I'll never forget your kazoo speech. Daniela, I'll miss hearing you smile. Erica, I'll miss your original sentences that spiral all around your vocabulary test. And Kedrick, I'll miss your exuberant joy every time you entered CRS. Kedrick, I'll also miss your questions, like the one you texted me on June 13th. It went something like this. Hey, Stephen, could you send me a list of all the things you told us we needed to know for college English? Kedrick, here are the highlights. A lot is 2 words. Cannot is 1. If you have something impactful to say, write it in a short declarative sentence. Long, complex sentences dilute the power of your message. Every time you write that, reread the sentence. It's probably better without it. Avoid too many pronouns. They make your meaning unclear. Cite everything. And remember, don't ask permission to do the right thing. And be leaders, especially when someone suggests you shouldn't be. So, my time is almost up. I want desperately to end with something that matches the sincerity of my feelings for you and the enormity of this moment. I'd love to quote something we've read, but the quote that most floats to my mind is from a book titled On the Road by Jack Kerouac. So I leave you with this. What is that feeling when you're driving away from people and they recede on the plain till you see their specks dispersing? It's the too huge world vaulting us, and it's goodbye. But we lean forward to the next crazy venture beneath the skies. I sincerely hope your next crazy venture is amazing. I can't wait to hear all about it. Congratulations on your graduation. Keep in touch. Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Thank you, Stephen. Sarah Yockey will now introduce the next speakers who will present the senior gift.
Chinquapin has a really long tradition of seniors making a gift to the school. It's just one of the many ways our community puts our quid pro quo philosophy of giving back into action. Today, I would like to introduce 2 seniors, Isaac Gonzalez and Tamara Gonzalez. This year, they have served together as senior class representatives. Isaac and Tamara have served tirelessly as advocates and intermediaries in many decision-making processes, from planning this graduation to organizing their senior gift. They're incredibly organized, they communicate clearly with all their partners, they're faithful to their commitments, and they lead with a lot of integrity and thoughtfulness. So I'm so excited to invite Isaac and Tamara to tell you about the class gift from the class of 2020.
Thank you, Sarah.
Gracias, Sara.
The idea for our senior project was actually a suggestion from Marcella Watkins and Bill Heiserman. We had all seen the poor yellow tree sculpture rotting away, but we never really thought we could fix it. When they expressed this idea, we thought, yes, this is it. First of all, we thought it was doable. We had the time, we had the plan, and we had the right people to help us. We could get it done. Secondly, the yellow tree has always been an important part of campus. Much like the quad or the red bell, restoring an important part of campus would restore a place where students could bond together.
La idea de nuestro proyecto principalmente fue una sugerencia de Marcella Watkins y Bill Heiserman. Todos habíamos visto la pobre escultura del árbol amarillo pudriéndose, pero nunca pensamos realmente que lo podríamos arreglar. Cuando expresaron esta idea, pensamos que sí, esto iba a ser nuestro proyecto. En primer lugar, pensamos que era factible. Teníamos tiempo, teníamos un plan y teníamos a las personas adecuadas para ayudarnos. Podríamos hacerlo. En segundo lugar, el árbol amarillo siempre ha sido una parte importante del campus, al igual que el quad o la campana roja. La renovación de una parte importante del campus restauraría un lugar donde los estudiantes actuales y futuros podrían reunirse.
It all began with power washing. We power washed a lot. We saw what parts of the wood we could save, but after spending many days of power washing, we quickly saw that the wood was all rotten and that we'd have to replace it all. So we began with the removal of the rotten wood. When removing the wood, we found that the core was still strong and decided to keep the core to keep the same structure. We brought in new material and began to plan it out, how we were going to restore the yellow tree. We began with measuring, cutting the wood at angles, and nailing down the boards and securing them with screws. Then we ended with sanding and staining the wood. In total, this project took 6 Saturdays, 4 weekdays of hard physical work, 2 weeks of funding, and a total of $1,007.82.
Todo comenzó con el lavado a presión. Lavamos mucho. Vimos qué partes de la madera podríamos salvar, pero después de varias lavadas, rápidamente vimos que la madera estaba podrida y que tendríamos que reemplazarla. Entonces comenzamos con quitar la madera podrida. Al retirar la madera encontramos que la base era fuerte y decidimos mantenerla para darle la misma estructura. Trajimos material nuevo y comenzamos a planificar cómo íbamos a restaurar el árbol amarillo. Comenzamos midiendo, cortando madera en ángulos, clavando las tablas y asegurándolas con tornillos. Luego terminamos lijando y pintando la madera. En total, este proyecto tomó 6 sábados y 4 días laborales de duro trabajo físico, 2 semanas de financiación y un total de $1,007.82.
This project revolved around renovation. Chinquapin was founded in 1969. From then, 45 graduating class have left their mark in a way renovated Chinquapin. The traditions continue, the sentiment is still there, but with each year, something new is added. The yellow tree was made in honor of Martha and Sam Bowen, concept by Julian Street, and the artist was Eric Ober. It became the hangout spot for most and a touch of color for our campus. After several years of pouring rain, unbearable Texas heat, Houston humidity, and several hurricanes, yellow tree sculpture has suffered lots of damage. We decided our way of renovation of Chinquapin would be through renovating the yellow tree sculpture.
Este proyecto se centró en el tema de la renovación. Chinquapin se fundó en 1969 y desde entonces 45 clases de graduados han dejado su huella y en cierto modo han renovado a la escuela. Las tradiciones continúan, el sentimiento sigue ahí, pero con cada año se agrega algo nuevo. El árbol amarillo fue un regalo en honor de Martha y Sam Bowen. El concepto por Julian Street y el artista fue Eric Ober. Se convirtió en un lugar de reunión para la mayoría y un toque especial de color de nuestro campus. Después de varios años de lluvia torrencial, calor insoportable de Texas, humedad de Houston y varios huracanes, la escultura del árbol amarillo había sufrido muchos daños. Decidimos que nuestra forma de renovar Chinquapin sería renovando la escultura del árbol amarillo.
We want to give thanks to Bill Heiserling, who was the backbone of this project, from many trips to Home Depot to precisely calculating the angles of the boards to cut. Thanks to Marcella Watkins, who sparked the idea of the yellow tree renovation and contributed greatly throughout the process. And special thanks to the parents who gave their time and effort to make this project possible. Lastly, thanks to the Hill family from At Your Best for completing this gift with a beautiful plaque.
Últimamente queremos dar un agradecimiento especial a Bill Heiserling, quien fue la ayuda más grande en llevar a cabo este proyecto. Desde muchos viajes a Home Depot hasta el cálculo preciso de los ángulos de los cortes. Gracias a Marcelo Watkins, quien tuvo la idea de la renovación del árbol amarillo y contribuyó grandemente durante todo el proceso. Un agradecimiento especial a los padres que dieron su tiempo y esfuerzo para hacer este proyecto posible. Y por último, gracias a la familia Hill de At Your Best por completar este regalo con una hermosa placa.
Thank you, Tamara and Isaac. Christina Medrano will now introduce the commencement speaker.
Thank you, Mrs. Gretchen. Good evening. Today, I was given the honor to introduce our selected keynote speaker, Chris Horton. For a man that seeks no praise or recognition for his heartfelt actions, it's about time he publicly receives some well-deserved love. Throughout our time at Chinquapin, Chris has been our teacher, coach, designated involuntary fireman, and mentor. It is said that teaching is a profession that makes all professions possible. And I speak on the behalf of our class when I say that we have found ourselves lucky to be taught by such an honest and dedicated teacher such as himself. That being said, he sure has a knack for making things fun and people around him laugh. So the next few minutes, expect big things. No pressure, Chris. Chris holds a special place in our hearts because he has been there for us at our worst and has celebrated us at our best. As the first computer science teacher ever at Chinquapin, as a basketball coach, a track coach, history teacher, and extravagant party planner, Chris is a man of many trades who succeeds in them all because of his dedication and hard work. And if there is someone amongst us today who hasn't met him yet, I truly encourage you to find the kind, quiet man with Ray-Bans and stunning hair somewhere on campus. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Chris Horton.
Thank you, Christina. Good evening. I'm honored to speak to our parents, families, and graduates on behalf of the Chinquapin family. I can say that the moment that these seniors asked me to speak to their accomplishments was one of the proudest moments of my life. I should also admit I was completely overwhelmed. Perhaps out of humility, I felt I might not meet the typical spirit of a graduation speaker. A quick Google recommended that the graduation speaker be accomplished in the field of education and an esteemed academic. Knowing that I would be following President Obama and then Stephen Perot gave me immediate comfort, knowing that these boxes had been checked before my ascension to the podium.
Me siento honrado de hablar con ustedes en nombre de la Facultad de Chinquapin Prep. Puedo decir que el momento en que los chicos me pidieron que hablara de sus logros fue uno de los momentos más orgullosos de mi vida. También debo admitir que estaba abrumado. Quizás por humildad sentí que no podría cumplir con los requisitos del orador de graduación típico. Una búsqueda rápida en Google recomendó que un orador de graduación es experto en el campo de la educación y un académico estimado. Saber que Steven estaría hablando antes que yo me dio consuelo inmediato, sabiendo que esta casilla se ha abordado antes de mi ascenso al podio.
To identify the accomplishments I should speak to, or what insights I should share with your generation, I did what all intelligent people do. I went to my mother. This was the same week that the NBA disbanded their season, and the first day that the stay-at-home orders went into effect. My mother was bedridden and intrigued by the fuss attributed to this virus quickly spreading. She was in her final days of life after a long battle with cancer. I knew that these were the conversations that you will remember forever, but I'll struggle to find the words then for her and for this speech.
Para identificar con qué logros podría hablar o qué ideas debería compartir con la próxima generación, hice lo que hacen todas las personas inteligentes. Fui a mi madre. Esta fue la misma semana en que el NBA disolvió su temporada y entró en vigencia la primera orden de quedarse en casa. Estaba en cama e intrigada por el alboroto atribuido a este virus en los últimos días de su vida debido a su batalla con el cáncer. Yo sabía que estas eran las conversaciones que recordaría para siempre, pero me costó encontrar las palabras entonces para ella y para este discurso.
Eventually, I decided to ask her the question that I had struggled my entire life to answer. I said, "Mom, when do you know that you're an adult?" This probably seemed a strange question for a 31-year-old father of two to ask, but it had troubled me my entire life. As someone who grew up idolizing the men in my life, only to see them fail to live up to their own expectations, I constantly was looking to find the adults or the people I should emulate. My mother laid her head back and closed her eyes for several moments, for what seemed like an eternity. And I started to wonder if her middle son had finally crafted a question so foolish and straightforward that it had actually killed her. But she took my hand and looked me in the eyes and told me, "It's when you're willing to let the most precious things in your life go after you've done everything you can for them."
Pero finalmente decidí hacerle la pregunta que había luchado por responder toda mi vida. Le dije, "Mamá, ¿cuándo sabes que eres un adulto?" Eso probablemente parecía una pregunta extraña para un padre de 2 hijos de 31 años, pero me había preocupado toda mi vida. Como alguien que creció idolatrando a los hombres de mi vida, solo para verlos fallar en cumplir con sus propias expectativas, constantemente buscaba a los adultos o personas que debía emular. Mi madre echó la cabeza hacia atrás y cerró los ojos por varios momentos, casi una eternidad, y comencé a preguntarme si su hijo del medio finalmente había elaborado una pregunta tan tonta y directa que en realidad la había matado. Pero ella me tomó de la mano y me miró a los ojos y me dijo, es cuando dejas ir las cosas más preciosas de tu vida después de haber hecho todo lo que puedes.
I joined your journey to adulthood in your 8th grade year. I was entering my 3rd year in education, somehow still lacking the now obvious hindsight that I perhaps still had much to learn. I remember explaining my credentials to your class, and introducing you to the intricate and cumbersome note-taking method and multiple choice identifier strategy known as LAPCATA. I expertly instructed you on how to label, annotate, identify punctuation, keywords, and then eliminate the distractor choices before finally identifying the correct answers. After finishing my lecture on how we would conduct ourselves professionally and only devote our class time to severe questions regarding US history between 1750 and 1900, several of you raised your hands and asked, "Do we have to?" Followed by, "We don't really like to learn that way." That first semester was too often underwhelming on my part, as I tried to instill that work hard, be nice mindset that Kip had force-fed me for 2 years. I keenly remember the days that my overly complex instruction elicited the infamous, "I'm so confused."
Me uní a su viaje a la edad adulta en el 8º grado. Estaba entrando en mi 3er año de maestro. De alguna manera carecía de la retrospectiva ahora obvia de que quizás todavía tenía mucho que aprender. Recuerdo haber explicado mis credenciales a su clase y presentarles la íntrica y engorrosa estrategia para tomar notas y preguntas de opción múltiple conocida como LAPCATA. Los instruí expertamente sobre cómo etiquetar, anotar e identificar signos de puntuación, palabras claves y eliminar las opciones de distracción hasta que finalmente identificaran la respuesta correcta. Después de terminar mi conferencia sobre cómo nos comportaríamos profesionalmente y solo dedicaríamos nuestro tiempo de clase a preguntas severas sobre la historia de los Estados Unidos entre 1750 y 1900, varios de ustedes levantaron la mano y preguntaron, ¿tenemos que hacerlo? Y enseguida, no nos gusta aprender de esa manera. El primer semestre fue demasiado decepcionante de mi parte, ya que traté de inculcarle esa mentalidad de trabajo duro, ser amable, que Kip me había alimentado a la fuerza durante 2 años. Recuerdo profundamente los muchos días en que mis instrucciones demasiadas complejas provocaron el infame "estoy tan confundido".
We met again as sophomores. I was a first-year computer science teacher, crafting the inaugural AP Science Computer Principles course without any programming experience, really with nothing but a syllabus and some moxie. In the first quarter of that school year, I remember informing you that there was a storm in the Gulf and that it was possible that we might miss a day or two on account of this Hurricane Harvey. 2 weeks later, you returned to campus and literally rebuilt your classrooms and your community. We endured factory explosions in your junior year, charting wind patterns between classes and investigating the difference between particulate matter and air quality.
Nos reunimos nuevamente en el 10º año, en mi primer año como maestro de computación, y comenzamos el curso inaugural de computación AP sin nada más que un programa de estudios y Moxie. Al principio de ese año escolar, recuerdo haberles informado que había una tormenta en el Golfo y que era posible que perdiéramos 1 o 2 días a causa del huracán Harvey. 2 semanas después regresaron al campus y literalmente reconstruyeron sus aulas. Sufrimos explosiones en fábricas en su 11º año, trazando patrones de viento entre clases e investigando la diferencia entre partículas y calidad del aire.
Then, improbably, I once again found myself standing in front of you as seniors, not really knowing what to say other than, "'Tis I." I had been tasked with supervising the Teacher's Aid program, while simultaneously teaching a 1-student class of AP Human Geography while proctoring the independent study period. For those of you considering a career in education, teachers are not advised to accept this offer, but I jumped at the chance to be your instructor one final time.
Una vez más me encontré frente a ustedes en su último año. Me asignaron la tarea de supervisar el programa de asistentes de maestros mientras enseñaba simultáneamente una clase de solo un estudiante en geografía humana y supervisaba el periodo de estudio independiente. Para aquellos de ustedes que están considerando una carrera en educación, no les aconsejo que acepten esta oferta, pero aproveché la oportunidad de ser su maestro por última vez.
Your class has a way of spilling into a room all at once, as if the standard door frame doesn't apply to you. The 5-minute transition period was routinely chaotic as you greeted the instructor, your classmates, and inquired what we'd be doing that day. I once complained about your 8th grade class. It's like they need to know that you love them before they'll learn anything. Years later, I value this simple lesson gleaned in a moment of frustration. Aside from pressing me to unpack my own traumas and the role of gendered expectations on how American men express emotion, you taught me over the years that I'm not really as by the book as I think I was. I can fondly recount the many instances when our 8th, 10th, and 12th grade classes went completely off the rails. And while we may not have fully met that day's objective, and I was praying that an administrator didn't come walking in, I admit I always had a great time.
Su clase tenía una forma de derramarse en un salón de clases juntos, como si el marco de la puerta estándar no se aplicara a ustedes. El periodo de transición de 5 minutos fue rutinariamente caótico al saludar al instructor, a sus compañeros de clase y preguntar qué haríamos ese día. Una vez me quejé de su clase en el 8º grado. Es como si necesitaran saber que los amas antes de molestarse en aprender algo. Años más tarde valoro esta simple lección obtenida en un momento de frustración. Además de presionarme para desempacar mis traumas y el papel de las expectativas de género sobre cómo los hombres estadounidenses expresan sus emociones, me enseñaron a lo largo de los años que no soy realmente seguidor de reglas como me gustaría ser. Puedo contar con cariño muchos casos en que nuestras clases de 8º, 10º y 12º grado se salieron de tema. Y aunque es posible que no hayamos cumplido completamente el objetivo de ese día, admito que la pasé muy bien.
Your class has built a reputation as ambassadors and guardians. There are few lives on campus you have failed to touch. From inviting that wayward history teacher who couldn't seem to stop setting off the fire alarms his first semester to eat dinner with you every night, or the 6th grade students who look to you for security and acceptance, or the LGBTQ students who knew that their identity would be valued and protected by you. You have had a part to play in my own children's lives. I know that their tendency to press the limits of procedures and their willingness to hug every stranger they meet is a trait gleaned from your example.
Su clase ha construido una reputación de embajadores y guardianes. Hay pocas vidas en el campus que no han podido tocar. Desde el caprichoso profesor de historia que parecía no poder dejar de encender las alarmas de incendio que se unía a ustedes para cenar por la noche, los estudiantes de 6º grado que buscan en seguridad y aceptación, o los estudiantes LGBTQ que sabían que su identidad sería valorada y protegida por ustedes, han tenido un papel que desempeñar en la vida de mis propios hijos. Sé que su tendencia a presionar los límites de los procedimientos y su disposición a abrazar a cada extraño que encuentran es un rasgo que se desprende de su ejemplo.
Looking back, I know that I viewed Chinquapin originally as a form of finishing school that would prepare our students to find success in the world as I knew it. 6 years later, the class of 2020 stands ready to change the society that led to the need for such an institution.
Mirando hacia atrás, siento que vi a Chinquapin como una forma de final de escuela que prepararía a nuestros estudiantes para encontrar el éxito en el mundo tal como lo conocía. 6 años después, la clase del 2020 está lista para cambiar la sociedad que llevó a la necesidad de tal institución.
The very idea of inviting people to the table denotes ownership of that table and those that may sit there. You have forever changed the way I view our mission statement. Bob Moore envisioned generations of students who would be comfortable navigating collegiate environments and the professional workforce. While you are undoubtedly prepared for this, I have to admit that our goal may have been misguided. Please know that you are never required to ask permission when changing this world, that we only gave you academic skills, but your voice was crafted on your own. You will find that the world outside our campus will often tell you to honor the virtues of pragmatism and advise you to take things slow. But the table is only needed for those willing to sit idly by. Please know that we stand ready to march with you.
La idea misma de invitar a gente a la mesa denota la posesión de la mesa y aquellos que pueden sentarse ahí. Han cambiado para siempre la forma en que veo nuestra misión. Bob Moore imaginó generaciones de estudiantes que se sentirían cómodos navegando en entornos universitarios y la fuerza laboral profesional. Aunque creo que están preparados para esto, debo admitir que nuestro objetivo puede haber sido equivocado. Tengan en cuenta que nunca tienen que pedir permiso para cambiar el mundo. Nosotros solo les dimos habilidades académicas. Ustedes mismos crearon su voz. Descubrirán que el mundo fuera de nuestro campus a menudo le dirá que honre las virtudes o el pragmatismo y les aconsejará que tomen las cosas con calma. Pero la mesa solo es necesaria para aquellos dispuestos a sentarse sin hacer nada. Estamos listos para marchar con ustedes.
Campus has been far too quiet the past 6 months. And at times, I've felt cheated. Out of that last day, listening to the student body sing on that bench that you had rebuilt for us, and the days of seeing your class pour into my classroom. This time has forced all of us to reconcile the security of our campus and the realities that Chinquapin is powered solely by the voice of its students. This part isn't easy, saying goodbye. Never is. I told you once that people don't leave until they know that you're ready to take the helm. History textbooks will mark the spring of 2020 as an unprecedented shift in how society views the community. But the history of Chinquapin will undoubtedly credit the past 6 years as a renaissance of dignity for our family because of you.
El campus ha estado demasiado tranquilo los últimos 6 meses y a veces me he sentido estafado al no poder compartir las alegrías del día a día al verlos entrar en mi salón de clases. Esta experiencia nos ha obligado a todos a conciliar la seguridad que ofrece nuestro campus con las realidades de que Chinquapin funciona únicamente con la voz de sus estudiantes. Esta parte no es fácil, decir adiós, nunca lo es. Les dije una vez que la gente no se va hasta que sepa que están listos para tomar el timón. Los libros de texto de historia marcarán la primavera de 2020 como un cambio sin precedentes en cómo nuestra sociedad ve a la comunidad. Pero la historia de Chinquapin, sin duda, acreditará los últimos 6 años como un renacimiento de la dignidad de nuestra familia gracias a ustedes.
In future years, our community will continue to build up your legacy, which forced both students and teachers to evaluate the ways in which we communicated and worked together. Your class leaves us with the belief that students of all races, genders, sexual orientations, and religions should not only feel welcomed but empowered to build a community rather than to perpetuate it. It is obvious to me that Chinquapin is a safer place due to your advocacy and spirit. The next 50 years at Chinquapin will forever be defined by that John Denver classic, Country Roads, and this multicultural, gender-fluid, anti-racist, non-conforming, progressive institution of we don't care how we used to do it sanctuary that you have built through love and insistence that the road we are traveling is uncharted but necessary.
En años futuros, nuestra comunidad continuará construyendo su legado, lo que obligó a los estudiantes y maestros a evaluar las formas en que nos comunicamos y trabajamos juntos. Su clase nos deja con la creencia de que los estudiantes de todas las razas, géneros, orientaciones sexuales y religiones no solo deben sentirse bienvenidos, sino también empoderados para construir una comunidad en lugar de perpetuarla. Para mí es obvio que Chinquapin es un lugar más seguro debido a su abogacía y espíritu. Los próximos 50 años en Chinquapin se definirán para siempre por los clásicos caminos rurales de John Denver y la institución progresista multicultural, fluida de género, antirracista y no conforme, de ya no nos importa cómo solíamos hacerlo, santuario que han construido a través del amor y la insistencia en que el camino que estamos recorriendo es inexplorado y necesario.
And now we're here at goodbye. You'll take the glitter that seemed to appear out of nowhere at residence life functions. You'll take the coffee cups that we had to crowdsource just to sustain the daily trips to the office coffee pot, and the absolute joy that your class brought to my career. I know today that my mother was right, as usual. I've dreaded your departure for some time, but I accept that my role now changes. I look forward to your graduations to come, the careers you'll develop, the families you'll begin, and the opportunity to live in the society your generation will craft. It is the greatest comfort that my heroes are now you, knowing I had a small role to play in your ascension. While your presence on campus is impossible to replace, you embody the traits most sorely needed in our country right now: empathy, compassion, and work ethic. This paired with your deeply set pursuit of justice and equity is the catalyst needed to produce the change in our society. In time, you'll return to find the campus you left slightly changed, but still built on the foundation of your character. And I will be there to welcome you home.
Ahora estamos aquí en el despido. Se llevan con ustedes el brillo que parecía aparecer de la nada en las funciones de Residence Life, las tazas de café que tuvimos que recaudar para mantener sus viajes diarios a la cafetera de la oficina y la alegría absoluta que su clase ha traído a mi carrera. Hoy sé que mi madre tenía razón, como siempre. He temido su partida por algún tiempo, pero acepto que mi rol ahora cambia. Espero con ansias las graduaciones que vendrán, las carreras que desarrollarán y la oportunidad de vivir en la sociedad que su generación creará. Es el mayor consuelo que mis héroes sean ahora ustedes, sabiendo que tenía un pequeño papel en su ascensión. Su presencia en el campus será imposible de reemplazar. Ustedes encarnan los rasgos más necesarios en nuestro país en este momento: empatía, compasión y ética de trabajo. Esto, junto con su búsqueda profundamente establecida de justicia y equidad, es el catalizador necesario para producir un cambio en nuestra sociedad. Con el tiempo, volverán, para encontrar el mundo que nos dejaron un poco cambiado, pero aún así construido a partir de la base de sus personajes. Y estaremos aquí para darles la bienvenida.
Class of 2020, I congratulate you, I admire you, and I love you. Godspeed.
Thank you, Chris. What a powerful message. Seniors, now's the moment you've been waiting for. I'm honored to have the class of 2020 as the first graduating class as an executive director. We've cried together, laughed together, jumped and danced for joy, and had crucial, uncomfortable conversations that pushed us to grow stronger together. Take a deep breath. Now it's your turn. As Casey and I state your name, we will announce the college and university you'll attend, your course of study, if you've listed it, and the scholarships, grants, and awards you've received. Now we will begin the awarding of diplomas. Luis A. Acosta. Luis will be attending Michigan State University to study neuroscience. He received the following Chinquapin scholarships: Burnell for $5,000, Toronis for $1,400, and he received community scholarships: Evening Pilot Club of Baytown, $800.
Sebastian Alba will be attending the University of Houston Honors College to study construction management. He's receiving 3 Chinquapin scholarships: the Zuber $2,000 scholarship, Toronis $1,400 scholarship, Arizolo $1,000 scholarship, the University of Houston Academic Excellence Scholarship $24,000, $2,000 education grant, highest ranking high school graduate, first year tuition for public colleges and universities, $8,913.
Erica Chavez. Erica will be attending Oklahoma City University to major in film studies. Erica received the Garcia Scholarship for $1,000.
Jacob Cordova will be attending San Jacinto College to study computer science and chemical engineering. Jacob received the Heiserling Scholarship of $1,500, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers SHPE Houston Scholarship of $1,000.
Ethan X. Corral. Ethan will be attending the University of Houston to study exercise science. Ethan received the Chinquapin Scholarship from Heinzerling for $1,500, the Education Pell Grant for $7,345, and a Sub-Opportunity Grant for $2,000.
Daniela M. Delgado will be attending Middlebury College to study computer science and minor in economics. She's receiving 2 Chinquapin scholarships, the OG Scholarship Class of 2008 in memory of Osiel Ozzy Martinez, $2,500, the Private Angel Fund Scholarship, $250, Middlebury College Grant, $65,201, and an Education Pell Grant, $6,345.
Kedrick DeMarcus Kaiser Jr. Kedrick will be attending Colorado College as a Bridge Scholar to study International Studies in Education and minor in Mandarin. Kedrick received the Chinquapin Internet Club Scholarship for $400, the Chinquapin Alumni Association Scholarship for $500, the Kathy Adams Scholarship for $350, and a J. Paola Bernal Class of 2013 Traveling Scholarship of $500. Kedrick received the Colorado College Awards and Scholarships, totaling $72,780, and a Community Award from Rotary Interact for $2,500.
Carlos Flores will be attending Carleton College as a Posse Scholar. Carlos is receiving a Chinquapin Scholarship, Zuber, $2,000, Carleton College Grant, $3,172, Posse Scholarship, estimated over $230,000 for 4 years tuition, the first year being $59,313, and an Education Pell Grant of $2,445.
Alan Daniel Garza. Alan will be attending Lawrence University to study chemistry. He received Chinquapin scholarships from Zuber for $2,000 and Turonis for $1,400. He also received the Main Hall Green Award for $2,000 and Lawrence University Posse Partner Award for $31,000.
Isaac Jared Gonzalez will be attending Colby College as a Posse Scholar to study Educational Studies and Sociology. He's receiving the Bob and Maxine Moore Scholarship from Chinquapin for $3,000. Posse, estimated at over $230,000 for 4 years of tuition, the first year being $66,205, and a federal grant of $8,345.
Tamara Gonzalez. She will be attending the University of Houston Honors College as an HSF scholar to study biology, pre-med. Tamara received the Class of 1995 in memory of Verona Gutierrez Scholarship for $1,050, the Woodruff Scholarship for $1,000, the University of Houston Academic Excellence Scholarship for $4,000, Positive Coaching Alliance Triple Impact Competitor for $2,000, College Board Opportunity Scholarship, completing the FAFSA for $1,000, the Counted Child Book Scholarship for $150, Hispanic Scholarship Fund that ranges between $500 and $5,000. She's also received a Texas grant for $5,989 and the Federal Education Grant for $6,345.
Christina E. Medrano will be attending the University of Houston. She's receiving a Chinquapin Scholarship, Zuber $2,000. University of Houston grants and awards $12,334.
Judith Mendoza. Judith will be attending St. Edward's University as a camp scholar to study computer science. Judith received the Smith Chinquapin Scholarship for $500, the Alumni Scholarship for $500. As the St. Edward's University Camp Scholar, she will receive $250,000. She is also a Positive Coaching Alliance Triple Impact competitor, and that scholarship is worth $2,000.
Sebastian Giovanni Navajar will be attending Houston Community College to study computer science. He's receiving the Heiserling Scholarship of $1,500 from Chinquapin and the Big Brothers Big Sisters Scholarship for $6,000.
Ricardo Plata III. Ricardo will be attending the University of Houston to study business. Ricardo received the Zuber Scholarship for $2,000, the Woodruff Scholarship for $1,000 from Chinquapin, and the Education Pell Grant for $5,895, and the Texas Public Education Grant, because he is a resident, for $1,000.
Ashley Robledo will be attending Colorado College. She's receiving the Garcia Scholarship of $1,000 from Chinquapin, the Colorado College Grant of $46,763, the Friedman Family Scholarship of $15,867, an Education Pell Grant of $6,345, and the Federal Education Grant of $4,000.
Kiana Wilson. Kiana will be attending the University of Chicago as a Questbridge Scholar and a Ron Brown Ambassador to study theoretical physics and creative writing. Kiana received the Heinzerling Scholarship for $1,500, the J. Paola Bernal Class of 2013 Traveling Scholarship of $500, and a $250 private Angel Fund Scholarship from Chinquapin. She also received Questbridge National College Match of $80,556, the Pi Beta Kappa Houston Scholarship of $4,000, the Terry Bruner Firm Discretionary Fund of $1,000, and a Matriculate Scholarship worth $400. Congratulations, class of 2020. The total awards were over $679,000 for freshman year alone. And as you heard, many of those are 4-year scholarships that will cover all of tuition. Each year, Chinquapin students are supported by alumni, board members, private donors, mentors, and numerous community organizations. The college application process was supported this year by Liz Myers, who volunteered her time and expertise by meeting with students weekly to advise them with college counseling support. The advanced testing team with Jay Rash and Jared Ford provided SAT and SAT prep and college essay support. Sarah Callahan Baker and James Baker wrote endorsement letters for students. Stacy Brode orchestrated providing college starter kits, which were generously funded by Michelle and Michael Hines. In response to the need for assistance that was necessary in order for the students to be able to breathe a little during the college application process, Tricia and Alan Ratliff funded the class by helping with fees related to college applications and acceptance, and brought winter clothing to launch students safely into their new environments with real winter weather. Chinquapin thanks the community for your support of the class of 2020 that stretched far beyond our imagination. We know without a shadow of a doubt that these graduates are ready to go into the world to make a difference in the lives of those they encounter. To the parents, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your child's life. I can never pay you for the wonderful gifts they have been to me. You have raised such strong young men and women. I praise God for the small amount of time I've been able to care for and nurture them. Para los padres, gracias por darme la oportunidad de ser parte de la vida de sus hijos. Nunca les podré pagar por el maravilloso regalo que ellas han sido para mí. Ustedes han criado muchachos y muchachas muy fuertes. Doy gracias a Dios por el poco tiempo que yo he podido ayudar y educarlos. Now, here's your moment. The trustees of Chinquapin Preparatory School, upon recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in them, have conferred upon the students in the class of 2020 their diplomas with all the rights and privileges appertaining to a college preparatory course of study. Graduates, please move your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations, class of 2020. Next, Chinquapin graduates will present a rose to their families as a sign of their gratitude for their commitment and unwavering support.
From now, we'll all be gone. All our friends will move away, and they're going to better places. But our friends will be gone away. Nothing is as it has been, and I miss your face like hell. And I guess it's just as well, but I miss your face like hell. Been talking about the way things change, and my family lives in a different state. And if you don't know what to make of this, then we will not relate. So if you don't know what to make of this, then we will not relate. Oh, and roads, all rivers and roads, all rivers till I reach you. Rivers and roads, 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 rivers till I reach you.
The Chinquapin Alumni Association gifted the class of 2020 with red and white cords to honor the transition from seniors to graduates. Graduates, please begin wearing your alumni cords. These cords, intertwined with the red and white school colors, represent the oneness between students and the institution. The red for the blood, sweat, and tears it takes to grind through the Chinquapin experience. The white for the new and endless possibilities that lay ahead for you as you go on to college and then career. As we all know, only a small number of special individuals will ever graduate from Chinquapin. But once you graduate, you should know that you are a burr for life. So please join me in welcoming Eduardo Balcazar, class of 2012, the newly appointed president of the Chinquapin Alumni Association.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. I'm so sorry I haven't got the chance to get to know y'all more, but know y'all have this huge network of big brothers and sisters that want to make sure y'all succeed. And as you embark on this new part of your journey, I'm really proud to welcome all of you to the Alumni Association. And I want to speak first to your Spanish-speaking parents and relatives. Para los papás y las mamás hispanohablantes, quiero decirles felicidades no solo a sus hijos e hijas, pero a ustedes también. ¿Qué es lo que yo tengo en común con sus hijos? Además de ser parte de esta pequeña comunidad a la cual llamamos hogar y esta segunda familia que nos brinda, yo también me gradué de esta pequeña escuela y cargué mis sueños conmigo hasta la universidad. Yo me gradué en el 2012, cuando, si lo recuerdan, el mundo también estaba en crisis. Los mayas habían predicado que el fin del mundo llegaría en el 2012. Pero por lo visto, el quien escribió eso, le faltaron los lentes y tal vez quiso escribir 2020. Ahora soy el presidente de la Asociación de Graduados de Chinquapin y quiero decirles que sus hijos tienen una comunidad de más de 50 años de graduados y nos estamos preparando para apoyarlos a ellos y ellas en esta nueva etapa de sus vidas. Saludos. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2020 and all your parents for the part that they played in protecting your dreams. So what do I have in common with all of y'all? Besides being a part of this small community I call home and this huge second family, well, in 2012, when I graduated, the world was also in the middle of a global crisis. The Mayans had predicted that the end of the world would come in 2012. But Clearly, whoever wrote it must have forgotten their glasses because maybe they meant to write 2020. While I have no doubt that the pandemic and the global awakening to violence across the country and the world is very difficult, painful, and unfair start to your new life in college, I hope you let this be a memory of your resilience, a reminder of your strength, an anecdote about how you didn't let a global pandemic, which forced the entire world to stop you. You didn't allow it to breach your dreams. I, like all of the Alumni Association, are so proud of your accomplishments. You made it through this, you're gonna make it through anything. You now join over 50 years of students that graduated from this little place we call home. You are honored. The red and white cord, which you have, can remind you that you are one of many in a huge network of dreamers, students that went on to carry their dreams with them. And if life gets hard again, remember that you have already survived one of the most deadly pandemics in the world. And if you ever forget, just look at your cord and remember, you are loved, you are smart, and you deserve everything you have worked hard to accomplish. Nothing's gonna stop you now. So congratulations, class of 2020, and welcome to the Chinquapin Alumni Association.
Thank you, Eduardo. Seniors, you are now officially alumni. You may toss your caps. The ringing of the bell symbolizes the end of the school year and amplifies the achievements of this year's graduates. We thank you for joining us this evening for this magnificent ceremony. After the school year bell closes its last sound, please continue to celebrate the class of 2020 and stay tuned for a special video by Kiana Wilson. Once again, congratulations, class of 2020.
Hope when you take that jump, you don't feel the fall. Hope when the water rises, you built a wall. Hope when the crowd screams out, you're screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay. Hope that you fall in love and it hurts so bad. Hey, the only way you can know, you give it all you had. And I hope that you don't suffer, but take the pain. Hope when the moment comes, you'll say, I swear I lived. Hope that you spend your days, but they all add up. And when that sun goes down, hope you raise your cup. Oh, I wish that I could witness all your joy and all your pain. But until my moment comes, I'll say I did it all. swear I lived. I swear I lived. Every broken bone. I swear I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Every broken bone, I swear I lived. I swear I lived. All my life been hustling and tonight is my appraisal. Cause I'm a hooker selling songs and my pimp's a record label. This world is full of demon stocks and bonds and Bible traders. So I do the deed, get up and leave a climber and a sadist, yeah. Are you ready for the sequel? Ain't ready for the latest? In the garden of evil, I'm gonna be the greatest. In a golden cathedral, I'll be praying for the faithless, and if you lose, boo-hoo. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Everything's coming up aces, aces. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, Ma, I made it. Friends are happy for me, or they're honeysuckle phonies. Then they celebrate my medals, or they wanna take my trophies. Some are loyal soldiers, while these other thorns are rosy. And if you never know who you can trust, then trust me, you'll be lonely. Oh, are you ready for the sequel? Ain't ready for the latest? In the garden of evil, I'm gonna be the greatest. In a golden cathedral, I'll be praying for the faithless, and if you lose, boo-hoo. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Everything's coming up aces, aces. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, Ma, I made it, I made it. I said, hey, look, Ma, I made it, I made it. I see it, I want it, I take it, take it. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Everything's coming up aces, aces. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, Ma, I made it, I made it. I said, hey, look, Ma, I made it, I made it. I see it, I want it, I take it, take it. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, Ma, I made it. Mama, best believe it. Mama, best believe it. Think I must be dreaming, but awake and breathing. Mama, best believe it. Mama, best believe it. Think I must be dreaming. Hey, look, Ma, I made it.
Girl, this is my life.